Hey, this is René, welcome back to another video, and today we will be talking about errors when developing your expert advisors. So you probably all saw one of these errors at one point or another. For example, unable to place pending order, error, invalid volume, or maybe something like this where it says C-trade, blah, 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 invalid volume. Or maybe you saw an error code. And there are different types of errors or problems that can occur in programming, and especially with automated programming or expert advisor trading. And for example, you have these compiler warnings. These are problems or compilation errors. These are problems that can happen when you are writing your code in the meta editor. But there could also be runtime errors. These are errors that can happen if you are running your program in the chart right now. So these are problems like that can happen with arrays, for example, or you have some problem, that with your memory management. These things can happen if you run your program in the chart. I will address one or two of these errors also, but not in this video. In this video, I will be talking about trade server return codes and the errors that can happen when you send your order from the MetaTrader terminal pretty much to the broker, because this is what you do when you open positions, when you close positions, or when you modify positions. So then you send an order to your broker. You can do this by using, for example, the order send function, or you can use something like the C-trade class. This is what I usually do to have a wrapper class pretty much that handles all of these order send functionalities and that you can use to easily like modify positions and stuff. And whenever you do this, whenever you send a order to your broker, for example, you say, I want to buy, and then the order says, no, you will not buy here because of this, and this error, then you will have to know how to handle these errors. And this is what I want to do now. So I wrote this little code here, and this is really easy. So first of all, I include the C-trade class here to be able to use it. Then in the onInit function, I just execute one single function. I just call the execute by function. And this is what you can see here. So this function, like the only purpose of this function is to open a buy position. And I will use this function to simulate different errors and show you how to handle them. So when we call this function calculates a entry price, for example, for a buy stop order. And here I calculate this price by a specific amount of points above the current ask price. Then we calculate the TP based on the entry price. I calculate the SL based on the entry price. I calculate the lots. And I always print all of these values here. So you can see it like this. And then we just use the C-trade class, a trade variable of type C-trade, to open a position, or in this case, to send a buy stop order. And if we are not successful sending this order, we want to have a error message printed in the journal. And we can also print like the error code here. Code trade result red code, like this. And this is what we do. So if we compile this, and by the way, this is like a normal opening of a buy or sell position. Of course, it works in both directions. So I will use this to simulate everything. And this is something you can use in every program of yours. And these errors can always occur. And for example, if you want to upload your program to the mql5 market, these are common errors that will make the automatic validation reject your EA, because you have to handle these errors. Otherwise, the program will not be accepted into the market. So, for example, if let me clear this again. So I will now activate this program here in my chart. So error handling, I put it in the chart. The execute by function is executed, and you can see there is an error. So now buy position is placed. And the problem here is unable to place pending buy order, error, invalid volume, code 10,014. So the first thing you can do is to go to this list here, like the code, the trade server return codes. Just Google for it, Google mql5 errors, and you will find this list here. So we can search for 14. Here it says invalid volume in the request. So this means pretty much that we will have to look at the lot size, of course. So we will check our code again, and we can see, oh, this lot size is not a valid lot size because there are too many digits after the decimal point. And of course, I did this on purpose. So this normally I would write something like this. But sometimes if you have a function to calculate the lot size, or if you have some kind of multiplication to calculate your lot size, it might be the case that you have too many digits after the decimal point. So what we have to do here is, let me take something here. I prepared something already. So what you can do is, you can do something like this. You can just say that you want to cut every digit after the amount of allowed digits after the decimal point. So you can use this symbol info double function to get the least possible symbol volume step, which would be something like this. And yeah, by using this mathematical operation, you pretty much just cut everything that is written after the second number after the decimal point. So if I compile the program again, you will now see that there is a open buy position, and we were able to send the order here. So let me remove this and let me show you something else. So there might be another error. Maybe you have a problem which is something like this. You have a lot size like this. I mean, this is, again, it's not realistic, but I'm just trying to explain you like the errors and how to handle them. So if I run the program again now, error handling, you will see that there is no position and I get the same error. And this time you can see the program tries to open the position with 0.0 lots. And this is, of course, not possible because we, of course, always have to trade at least the minimum lot size. So what we can do here is to cover this case is we can do something like this. We can say the lots have to be at least the minimum lot size, like this. So we are taking the bigger value of the current lot size and the minimum lot size for the symbol, and whatever is bigger will be set as the lot size now. Also, check out this line. This is pretty much the same, but just for the case if your lot size is too big. So if I add this for the lots, and this is just like too big, so the program automatically chooses to trade only 200 lots, because yeah, this is like the maximum amount of lots that is that you are able to trade. So you can see, for example, if I go to the symbol specifications, you would see here like the minimum value is 0.01, minimum volume, maximum volume is 200 lots. So this is how you can take care of your of problems with the lot size. Just use like this these three lines, and it will take care of pretty much all the errors that can happen with your lot size. So since we handled this now, we can have a look at some other problems that might happen. So for example, now this is working and this is placing orders, but still we can see like the entry, the TP and the SL value, they are not really valid. I think this is already taken care of somewhere in the order send function or in the function of the ctrade class. But what I also always recommend is just rounding these values. So I would always round the entry. Just use the normalized double function for it, for example. Then I would round the TP and also, of course, the stop loss. So also the stop loss. This is just to make sure that there are no rounding issues. And if, whoops, there is some semicolon missing. This is just to make sure there is no rounding issues, and now all the values look like clean and neat like this. So this is what I would always recommend to do. And I also want to print the lots here. Okay, so what other errors could happen? For example, we could have something like there's an invalid price. So for example, I'm trying to place a buy stop order below the current market price, which is of course not allowed. So we will get an error like 10,015, which means invalid price. And this is something we can check. And this can happen for the entry price and for the stop loss and take profit. Let's have a look at the entry first. So what we have to do is we have to get the, wait, let me get these values here real quick. So what we have to do, after calculating the entry, the TP, the SL, and the lots, we will have to check if all of these values are valid and if we can use them to open positions. So what I did here is I added these 4 lines, and what they do is I just get the current bid price, I get the current ask price, and I get the stop level and the spread. Stop level is the minimum distance that your broker requests from you for any pending order. It can be an entry order, it can be a stop order, it can be a TP order. So for example, for me, I think there is no minimum stop level, but it could be different for your broker. So you will have to take care of this. So you can also see it in the specifications here. If I have a look at stop level, you can see it is 0 here. But we can still use this to check if our entry price is valid for the buy stop order. So what we want to do is we want to check if the entry price minus the ask price, which will give us the distance, like the entry price should be above the ask price. So for a buy stop order, we can check like the distance from the current ask price to the entry price like this. And we have to check if this is smaller than the stop level plus the spread multiplied with a point value, because stop level and spread are integer values, and we multiply it with a point value. And if this is the case, then we cannot open a position. So we will simply return from the execute buy function. Because in this case, we are not able to place a position. We could also have like some print statement here. For example, we could say print function cannot place buy stop order, invalid order price. Something like this, right? Wait, there's this. Something like this. And if we compile this, we should now see that we print cannot place buy stop order, invalid order price, because this is just not a valid price. But if we add a valid price here, for example, if we say again plus 200 points, something like this, we should place the order. Yeah, there it is. And everything works as intended. And for example, if we just have 0 here, I think this will be rejected because we cannot really place a pending buy stop order at the current market price. So this is how you can take care of this error. So the same thing can happen pretty much for the TP. For example, if we have a TP that is below the entry price like this, it will give us another error. This error is 10,016, which is invalid TP or stop loss. This is a little bit misleading because it always says invalid stops, but this is also the error that you get if your TP is not valid. So both throw this invalid stops error. So if we want to fix this error, we will have to add some code here again. So the easiest way to handle this is to add these 2 lines pretty much. So first of all, we have to check if there is an SL or TP calculated, because if it is 0, we do not really have to check the value, because in this case there is no TP or SL placed. And then we have to check the distance from the entry to the SL price. And this distance has to be smaller, or wait, it has to be bigger than the stop loss level plus the spread. So if it is smaller, this means we are not able to place the order, and then we want to return from this function. So in this case, we can also like just copy this block and have a print statement here. And we can say something like cannot place buy, invalid SL or TP price. So if we add this block here and if we compile again, you can now see this error is captured before it can occur. And it says invalid TP price. So this works for the TP now. And if we like add a valid TP again and maybe change the SL, so the SL is invalid, it will give us the print message that there is an invalid SL. And yeah, wait, let me just remove these print statements because they are no longer needed. So this is how you can check for these errors. So if I compile now and if I add like valid values, you can see everything should be working nice now. A little bit too many orders, but you can see now one order is placed if everything is okay for this order to be placed. So yeah, again, you do not really need these print messages. You can add them, but you do not have to. So you can just go like this. If you do not want to have too many print messages here, this would of course also work. And let me remove this. So for example, these lines, you can always like just copy these lines into any program that you run, and it will capture or it will check for all the possible errors. Of course, this only works for buy trades. For sell trades, you would, for example, have to check if bid minus entry is smaller than stop level plus spread. But yeah, this is how you can take care of these errors. So there's one more error that I want to show you. For example, if we, wait, can I just, if I want to open a market position, in this case, I kind of want to check if entry is unequal ask and entry blah, blah, blah. So if I open a buy position like this, and if I add like a really big lot size, like this, I hope that I can produce this error. Unable to place invalid order. Oh, invalid order type. So I have to change the order type by volume string entry. So now I'm trying to open a buy position, like a normal buy position, a market buy position. And you can see here now the error that I get is not enough money because I try to open 200 lots and my account is just not big enough for this. So the margin requirement is not met. So this is another classical typical error that you can face. So you will have to take care of this error. Oh, by the way, we do not even need the bid price for buy positions. But yeah, for sell positions, you will need this. So I have prepared two more lines for you that I will add here now. And I can place them, for example, here. And here I will check if the margin requirement is enough to like open the position. So for example, I could also like add another print statement here. Print not enough margin, like this. So what I do here is I first of all I create a double variable which is called margin, because I will need this for this order calc margin function, because this function calculates the margin that is required for a specific action. So you just say what you want to do, if you want to buy or sell, what symbol, the trading volume and the price. And then it will store the required margin in the variable that you provide. So if I call this function, it will store the required margin in this variable. And then I take this variable and compare it to the free margin of the account. And if the margin requirement is greater than the free margin, this will of course not work. And I can just print not enough margin. So now you can see this error is no longer there. And we just print not enough margin. So whenever I execute the function, not enough margin is printed. And we do not get an error. And this is all we want to achieve here, right? So yeah, this is how you can take care of the margin problem. So right now, if we do it like this, this will take care of all the possible errors, or most of the errors. I think this is okay. I mean, these are the functions or the lines that I usually use for my programs that I load into the mql5 market. So the automatic validation is happy with this, and yeah, it should also help you to upload your programs if you want to do so. So if I add like values that are okay, it can open positions like whenever this function is executed, as you can see here. And yeah, if there is any problem with the functions, with the parameters of the order that you want to send, it will not work, of course. So let me show you like the complete function one more time and explain what we did here. And of course, I will only do it for the buy function. You can pretty much just turn everything around for the sell function, but the process is completely the same. So what we do here is we calculate the entry price. We just use different variables for the entry price, the TP and the SL. This is like what I usually do. I create 3 variables, then I calculate like the entry price. Around the values, I calculate the TP based on the entry usually. Around the value, I calculate the SL based on the entry usually, around the value. And then we calculate the lot size, or we just have some lot size, and then we check if this lot size, first of all, has too many digits after the decimal point. If this is the case, we cut the digits after the amount digits. After the allowed amount of digits, then we check if the lot value is maybe just too big, so we round it down to the maximum allowed amount. Then we check if the lot's value is maybe too small, then we want to round it up to the minimum requested amount. Yeah, this is for like calculating a valid lot size. Then we go on. We need 3 values here for buy positions: the ask price, the stop level, and the spread. And we will use these 3 values to check if the entry price is valid, if the stop loss price is valid, and if the TP price is valid. And the most important parameter that is that you have to take care of is this stop level and also like the spread, of course. So you will have to make sure that the current price is at least the distance of the stop level and the spread away from the price that you are planning to have your order opened, pretty much. And also for the SL, you do not compare the stop loss to the ask price, but you of course have to compare the stop loss to the entry price of your position. Also for the TP, you have to compare to the entry price of the position, and you have to check if like the distance from the entry price to the stop loss is smaller than the stop loss level plus the spread. And yeah, then last but not least, we check if the margin requirements are met. So if we have enough free margin in our account to open this position. So what we do here is we create this variable, we calculate the requested margin, and we check if this margin is greater than the free margin that we currently have in the account. And I always like to do it like this. So I just return like the execute buy function if some of these requirements are not fulfilled. And yeah, if everything is okay, we can just open the position. And if we still fail, I like to have like some useful print message in the expert journal, like this. For example, where I print like the return code description and the return error. And this is it. This is what you can add into all of your programs to take care of the most common errors, which are like the invalid stops. I wrote them down. The lots problem, the invalid price problem, the no money or not enough money problem. And also like I will give you like some more useful tips here. For example, if you have a program that uses a trailing stop and you want to modify your stop loss, you will of course also have to do this check before modifying your stop loss. You should also check. In this case, you do not need like to compare to the entry price, but you will have to compare your stop loss to the bid price for a buy position, because the stop loss has to be at least the stop level plus the spread away from the current bid price to be modified for a buy position. And for a sell position, of course, the stop loss, the new stop loss that you plan for your position has to be at least the stop level, just the stop level pretty much above the current ask price. Yeah, just play around with this. One last thing, like if you get the error 10,017, which is also quite common, which means trade disabled, it will write like trade disabled in your expert journal. It will say that this is something you can, in most cases, not really fix, because this usually has to do something with your broker. And this can have different reasons. For example, some broker have a additional security mechanism where you first of all have to go into the login area and say that you want to enable automated trading. This could be the case. Or some brokers have like maybe you are trying to trade a symbol that is not allowed for trading, but this is again different from broker to broker, and you will have to ask your broker support what this error means in your specific case. So if you're ever encountering like this 17, like trade disabled error, you will have to ask your broker about it. So this is it. Hope I was able to help you with this little tutorial on how to fix like the most common server return codes or errors, and let me know if you're facing some other errors in the comment section below. I will try to answer some of them, and if you are missing something in the video here, you can also check out the comments, and maybe someone already requested a solution for an error, or you can write another comment for this. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful, and as always, have a good time and good trades. Bye bye.